I'm going to take advantage of this time to finish setting up the pasture so we can get the paddock rotation system going again. Up until a few minutes ago, it had not stopped raining since yesterday afternoon when we got them. They were finally able to go out in the paddock and graze a little bit. There's not much there for them to graze on, of course, but at least they weren't cooped in the shelter. With a lull in the rain and the sun coming out a little bit, I'm going to take advantage of this time to finish setting up the pasture so we can get the paddock rotation system going again. The girls are in their shelter right there. This is where the perimeter fence for the laneway used to be. Of course, we have the portable electric netting there now. The polywire gates are all intact for the laneway now. And down there we have our new paddock. Since my other portable electric fence is already in use around the shelter, I only have one to use for the paddock, so I had to make the paddock shorter. The back of the fence does not go all the way to the perimeter fence. Because I made the paddock a little bit shorter, it doesn't go as long, I was able to use it for front and back fencing. The reason I'm not moving this portable electric fencing and using it as back fencing out in the paddock is because I found I really like this area for bringing the sheep in and bringing them out as well. Having the perimeter fencing gate handles end right here versus them continue on to the T-post and then go all the way back around, it enables me to keep this area for ingress and egress. I can easily open this fence right here, have a van pull up, livestock trailer, whatever it may be. If I set it up the way I had it before slaughter, I just have to break it down again when Tess comes back to bring her sheep back home. It's probably only going to be a few weeks from now, so it just really wouldn't be worth the effort. So I'm going to leave this system in place the way it is now. Earlier in the summer when we got our ram lambs, the livestock trailer backed up right to here, and we had this cattle panel corral where we opened the gate and they went right into their corral area. This area worked really well, and the grass in there has come back really nicely. So originally I was thinking we would just do that again in the spring when we get our breeding stock. We'd have them go right in there. There's really nice grass in there for them to eat. It'll be a nice environment for the sheep to come into. They can come in and have really good grass to get started eating, and that way they can forget about the stress of their move. But I really like the way this system is working. It worked well with slaughter, having the slaughter van pull up right there, and it worked well at delivering these ewes. It just makes a lot of sense with the driveway right there. What I'm considering now doing for the spring is putting up a cattle panel corral here, making this a little permanent fence corral here. And then I can use our current cattle panel corral for securing our greenhouse. We can just open up one of the panels, drag the greenhouse into there. All I'll have to do is line the interior with my green plastic mesh chick netting stuff so the birds won't go through the cattle panel fence. And then I can just start applying my deep litter in the corral. For extra security, I was thinking about getting the reverse insulators. So these will come off the back side of the T-post going on the outside of the cattle panel, and then I can run some poly wire around it. That way we're a little less likely to have a predator climbing up over the fence. The electro-poultry netting really isn't designed to take a snow load over the winter. That kind of segues us into the next thing I wanted to tell you guys. We have decided that we are going to be moving forward with getting rabbits. Sometime later this week, we're going back to the Shepherd Ranch to buy the mini Rex rabbits. One of our viewers, Ethan Gillespie, recommended looking at the Californians or the New Zealands if we wanted to get into meat rabbits. And I think down the road, that's the direction I want to head. But for right now, we're just gonna go ahead and pick up those mini Rexes. One, because they're available, they're for sale, we know where they are. We know the care that went into these animals, we're friends with the people who own them. Now for housing the rabbits, in keeping with the Joel Salatin theme we're emulating here, with using the greenhouse to overwinter the chickens, my thought is that we mimic Joel Salatin with his Rakin house model and have the rabbit cages going along the perimeter of the greenhouse. They'd of course be spinning off the ground a few feet. Their droppings would go down to the deep litter where the chickens would be pulling it up. Hello, Sage. Hello. Hey, you're blocking the camera. Hello, Daisy. We lost daylight and the ewes just weren't cooperating with that last shot, so we brought it inside here. As far as the rabbits go, I was really hoping there would be some kind of way to raise rabbits in a more natural way where they're not in cages all the time. If there's not a wire on the bottom or something to prevent them from digging, they'll dig out of any kind of enclosure, get out, and get eaten. But then viewers Gemma Storm and Joan Smith both recommended that I check out a YouTube channel, Peebles Rabbit Colony. The guy who's running that YouTube channel is essentially raising his rabbits in what you might call a burrow and run situation. Just a really big enclosure, 4 sides of chicken wire, wire going across the top, but nothing on the bottom. Having a colony system like that is really cool, and that's something that I can work up to later. Like Joel Salatin said in my interview the other day, I'm not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I think bringing the rabbits home and having them in suspended cages, just like Joel Salatin does, and giving them plenty of room in the cages, just like David with the silver fox rabbits, those cages were really good size. The rabbits had a lot of room to maneuver around. They're not crammed in tight or anything like that. They have a lot of personal space. So we can still build a really good system that is healthy for the rabbits and not, 100% ideal, but we can still give them a really good life. And when it warms up in the spring and we start getting grass growing, we can put them out in a tractor and they can be out on fresh grass moving around that way.
Yeah. Oh, hi. I'm trying to learn how to play the guitar, and little buddy is too. Clearly each of us has a lovely guitar that has rarely been used. So here's C. Can you remember this? C and A minor before C.
Are you learning, little buddy? You're not?
Really?